ورحمة الله. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا. من يهده الله فهو المهتدي ومن يضلل فلا هادي له. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له. أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء. واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها كل محدثة بدعة Inshallah, tonight we continue with this chapter of the book Kitab al-Talaq, and we reach the section of التربص. قال المصنف رحمه الله تعالى: ويشرع التربص مع العدة في مواضع ثلاثة. أحدها إذا ارتفع حيضها لا تدري ما رفعه فإنها تتربص 9 أشهر ثم تعتد عدة الآيسات. وإن عرفت ما رفع الحيض فإنها لم تزل في عدة حتى يعود الحيض فتعتد به. الثاني امرأة المفقود الذي فقد في مهلكة أو من بين أهله فلم يعلم خبره تتربص 4 سنين ثم تعتد للوفاء. وإن فقد في غير هذا لم تنكح حتى تتيقن موته. الثالث إذا ارتابت المرأة بعد قضاء عدتها بظهور أمارات الحمل لم تنكح حتى تزول الريبة، فإن نكحت لم يصح النكاح. وإن ارتابت بعد نكاحها لم يبطل نكاحها إلا أن يعلم أنها نكحت وهي حامل. ومتى نكحت المعتدة فنكاحها باطل ويفرق بينهما. فإن فرق بينهما قبل الدخول أتمت عدة الأول، وإن كان بعد الدخول بنت على عدة الأول من حيث حين دخل بها الثاني استأنفت العدة الثاني وله نكاحها بعد قضاء العدتين. ولد من أحدهما انقضت به عدته واعتدت للآخر. وإن أمكن أن يكون منهما أري القافة ألحق بمن ألحقوه منهما وانقضت به عدتها منه واعتدت للآخر. Here تربص هو يعني الانتظار. تربص الانتظار. And there are scenarios, as we spoke last time, and we said when the woman her husband dies, or when the woman gets divorced, we said she has a iddah, and that period of time where she needs to wait before she can get married again. And we said it's 3 periods for a divorced woman. That is if she has her period, and if she's old, that she reached a level or a point where she doesn't have period anymore, then she waits 3 months. And also the iddah for a woman whose husband dies, we said that's 4 months and 10 days. And we said there is no iddah for a woman who gets divorced before the consummation of the marriage. And we also said there is a iddah for a woman whose husband dies even before the consummation of the marriage, and that is 4 months and 10 days. So we talk about that period of time that the woman needs to wait after one of those things happen to her. Sometimes the husband disappears. Okay? Sometimes the husband disappears. So no one knows if he's dead or alive. No one knows if he's coming back or not. No one knows if he divorced her or not. So we have to find, or there should be a solution for women. What she gonna wait for the rest of her life for this absent husband, not knowing if he's gonna come back or not? So in the Sharia, they have, or the ulama have discussed this issue, and this happens often. Okay, this happens often. Someone travels or leaves his home or disappears. I mean, you find newspapers and magazines and flyers every single day and programs every single day looking for people, missing people. Missing people. They left in the morning to work, to school, to buy food, to go shopping, to go around, walk around, go exercise, whatever the situation, and they don't come back. They don't come back. So there has to be a solution for such scenarios that the Sharia sets forth. So here, rahimahullah, Ibn Qudam al-Maqdisi mentioned 3 situations where this could happen. Okay? 3 situations where يعني التربص, where a woman needs to wait, happens. There are 3 situations where she is required to wait this period of التربص in addition to her iddah. Iddah is understood. Iddah is understood. If he dies or she's divorced, there's iddah. That's already established. But when there is disappearance, then there is tarabbus. We have to wait a little bit. We have to give him a chance to show up. Cannot just go say, okay, we're going to assume he's dead. No. Okay, we're not going to say, we assume he divorced you. No. So we have to give enough time to make sure that such thing is not the issue anymore. You don't want her to get married and then 2 days later the husband shows up. And you're going to run into problems here. So unless we make sure that it's done and he's not coming back or he's dead, or at least be confident, okay? You can never be sure, because if you were sure then you would have no problem, okay? But at least we are being reasonable when we make such decision. So let's see what they said about this issue. قال المؤلف رحمه الله يشرع التربص مع العدة في 3 مواضع. So when there is تربص, and that we said التربص يعني to wait. Okay? قل هل تربصون بنا إحدى الحسنين ونحن نتربص بكم. So تربص is to wait. So the woman needs to wait this period in addition to waiting her iddah. In addition to the period of her iddah. So when we talk about tarabbus, that's extra period in addition to al-iddah that she will wait. And he's saying there are 3 scenarios where the woman needs to wait. Okay, in addition to her iddah, there are 3 scenarios. We will see what they are. الموضع الأول قال إذا ارتفع حيض المرأة لا تدري ما رفع فإنها تتربص 9 أشهر ثم تعتد عدة الآنسة. If a woman, who's normally having her period regular, okay, every month she gets her period, 7 days, 5 days, 10 days, whatever the situation is, and suddenly there's no iddah, completely disappears. Okay, completely disappears. Then he's saying this is one of the scenarios where the woman needs to wait in addition to the iddah. Now of course here we're not talking about a woman whose husband did not divorce her or who did not die. Okay, here we're talking about a woman who got divorced and suddenly she doesn't have iddah anymore. And we established that the woman who gets divorced, if she's still having her iddah or her period, then she needs to wait 3 periods. True? So now she doesn't have periods anymore. She aisa, she hit her menses and it's over, or menopause and it's over, or what's the point? What's going on here? So here he's saying she needs to wait 9 months. Okay? So a woman, let's assume she got divorced, or she's not divorced yet, but she doesn't have periods anymore, and she doesn't know why. Okay, she doesn't know why, and sometimes this happens, hormonal imbalance, stress, whatever the situation is, that could prevent, in addition to pregnancy, that could prevent the period. Okay, so if the woman is unable to know why she doesn't get her period anymore, okay, then she needs to wait 9 months. So she waits 9 months, and let's say she got divorced, and after the 9 months she wait 3 periods. Now we say that she doesn't have periods anymore. So in this instance she will wait the iddah of al-Aisa. Al-Aisa, her iddah is 3 months. So very much such woman in such condition, when she doesn't know why she doesn't have period anymore, if she gets divorced, she will wait 9 months, that's tarabbus, and then after that she'll spend her iddah, which is for a woman like her 3 months. So here you're talking about a year for tarabbus and for the iddah. And that is what Umar radiallahu anh gave fatwa when a woman had the same scenario, and we don't know of any of the Sahaba objecting. So in other words, this sounds like agreement amongst the Sahaba that this is the case. So when a woman loses or her period stops and she doesn't know why, that's the condition, she doesn't know why, okay, then she waits 9 months plus her iddah to be out of the now why 9 months? If she's pregnant, then after 9 months she'll give birth and then her iddah will be over. So we will rule out the chance of pregnancy. So 9 months in addition to the iddah of al-Ais. قال وإن عرفت ما رفع الحيض فإنها لم تزل في عدة حتى يعود الحيض فتعتد. If she knows why she doesn't have her period, let's say she goes to the doctor tells her you don't have your period because you hit menopause, for example, you're not going to have period anymore. So obviously such woman iddah is 3 months. But let's say she goes to the doctor, they do blood tests, this and that, they tell her you got some dysfunctional hormone production in your body, and that's why you're not getting your period. But this should resolve, we're going to give you some medication, and in a month you will get your period back. So such women will wait, so that's tarabbus now, will wait until the issue that preventing the period gets resolved. And from that instance, once she starts getting her period back, we count 3 periods for her. Clear? Understood? So if we know the reason why she's not getting her period anymore, and we think it's going to be resolved in X amount of time, then we wait for this X amount of time. Once she starts getting her iddah back, we count 3 haydat, 3 quru, and that will be the end of her iddah. So she waited the period until she resolved the reason or the cause preventing the iddah or the period, and then we give the time for the iddah. And that is إنها لم تزل في عدة حتى يعود الحيض. موضع الثاني قال امرأة المفقود الذي فقد في مهلكة أو من بين أهله فلم يعلم خبره. So that's the first scenario where the woman has to wait when her period suddenly stops and she doesn't know why, or she knows but there is time before it's resolved. So both scenarios there is tarabbus in addition to al-iddah. The second scenario that can happen is if the husband disappears. Does this happen? Sure. The husband disappears. Whatever situation, he disappeared, he ran away, he decided to leave, he got kidnapped, he got killed, he drowned, he's this, he's that. There are 1,000,000+ reasons that someone might leave the home in the morning, a husband, and never come back. In this situation, you got to find a solution for the woman. So here, Ibn Qudam rahimahullah, and as we know he's Hanbali, he said, امرأة المفقود الذي فقد في مهلكة أو من بين أهله فلم يعلم خبر. Also the wife of someone who got missing. في مهلكة. يعني في مهلكة, يعني he got, يعني they know he's going to do something, but such thing that he left his home or he left his country or he left his family to do is very risky, that he might lose his life. يعني he went to fight in a war. His country is fighting, so he left his house in a war. And how many people, how many soldiers they go to fight and they never find them, They can be captured by the enemies, they can be killed and they didn't find, they can be burned, they can be, you know, they're many situations. So that's what they mean في مهلك. أو فقد من بين أهله. يعني he disappeared. So whether it's he went out for risky mission or he just disappeared. Okay? So either way, يعني the fuqaha and the ulama have different opinions based on what he went out for. But the bottom line, either way, the fact is, if he's missing, there is tarabbus. There's a time she needs to wait. What is this exact time? We will see what the ulama have said, and there are many opinions about it, because there is no solid dalil on how long such woman should wait. So you find different opinions from different madhab. So since we study this book, and we said this book is Hanbali and it's very summary, but we said we will mention the right opinion, even if it's against the opinion of the author. So the opinion of بعض الحنابل, the opinion that the author rahimahullah ibn Qudama adopts, is an opinion of some of the Hanabil, not the majority, not the madhab. It's an opinion in the madhab. Each madhab for each issue got more than one opinion. So the opinion that he is adopting, and he's mentioning in his book, he said تتربص 4 سنين ثم تعتد للوفاء. Okay, ثم تعتد للوفاء, which is 4 months and 10 days. He said she waits 4 years. So a woman whose husband left in a risky mission, as he said, or he disappeared suddenly, she waits 4 months, 4 years, plus the iddah of the widow. Iddah for widow is 4 months and 10 days. So how much is that? That's 4 years and 4 months and 10 days. That's the opinion of Ibn Qudam, the opinion of some of the ulama al-Hanabil. قال هذا إذا فقد في مهلكة، أما إذا فقد في غير هذا كالمسافر للتجارة ونحوها لم تنكح حتى تتيقن موته. He said that is if he went out in a risky mission, يعني in a war, he's going to fight, he's going to he loves to skydiving, so he went and he disappeared. Mountain climbing. He said, however, if he went for other reasons, he went for business, he went on a trip for business, to make some living, to make some money somewhere else, so he left and never came. He went to work, he went to the masjid, okay, to pray, and he never came back. So here he's saying, then she has to wait until she's certain that he's dead. But this can never happen. She can never be certain if he's dead. The only way is if his body turned out and they find his body, or he calls her, tell her I'm dead. How is that, That's the only way. If he went out and disappeared, the only way. So he's saying, if he went out in non-risky mission, going out to work, going to pray, going out to buy some food, then she cannot get married until she makes sure that he's dead. But this can be her whole life. That's why you find some of the ulama, including al-Hanabila, the famous opinion of al-Hanabila, how long such woman waits? 90 years. Some opinion. Some said 60 years. Some said 70 years. Why 70 years? Because they said, the Prophet said, the ages of my ummah between 60 and 70. So 70 years, almost there, he's dead. But what's she gonna care after 70 years if he's dead or not? She gonna get married when she's 80 or 90 or 100? Okay. So obviously all these opinions, the reason you find too many opinions, because there's no dalil. There is no solid dalil for people to, for the ulama to adopt. Even a weak dalil, there is no such thing. And the 4 years, there is a famous story, that Umar radiyallahu anhu ruled. A woman came to him, and if this story, if it wasn't sanad wise and the chain wise authentic, we would not believe. But it's authentic, يعني reported by Al-Bayhaqi and others, that at the time of Umar radiallahu anh, the Khalifa, a woman came to him and she said, my husband went to pray Isha and never came back. So he gave her the fatwa to wait 4 years and then her iddah and then get married. She waited 4 years, she waited her iddah, he didn't come back. Now why you wait? To see if he's gonna come back. Didn't come back, so she got married. Then he showed up. So when he showed up, they asked him, he said, I went out to pray Isha and I got kidnapped by the jinn. Jinn kuffar. And I'm telling you, يعني, if it wasn't authentically, يعني, the story, if it wasn't sanad wise authentic, يعني, it will be an imagination. He got kidnapped by the kuffar jinn, kafir jinn. So Umar wanted to test him. He said, what did you eat? He said, al-ful وما لم يذكر اسم الله عليه. They used to feed him beans and whatever. You know, the food of al-jinn, al-kafir, they don't say Bismillah. That's why the Prophet ﷺ guided us that when you sit down to eat, say Bismillah, so that the shaitan does not share your food with you. Okay? So the kuffar of the jinn do not say Bismillah. So that's what he meant, وَمَا لَمْ يُذْكَرْ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. So Umar radiallahu anh, when he confirmed the story, and then he said they were attacked, this tribe of kafir jinn were attacked by Muslim jinn and they were defeated, and the Muslim jinn gave me the option either to stay with them or to go back to my family. Right, of course he chose his family. So when he found that his wife was married, Umar radiallahu anh gave him the option. He said, either you wait for her iddah and then she get back to you, and the iddah from this husband, the new husband, or I give you the mahr that you gave her from Bayt Mal al-Muslim, يعني from the public money. So the man كأنه يعني خلاص يعني she got married, you know, she could not wait for me. 4 years wasn't enough for him, يعني, as if يعني he lost interest in her. Huh? So he said, I'll take it as-sadaq, I'll take al-mahr. Alright? So this is story, يعني it's used as a dalil of the 4 years, because that's what Umar radiallahu anhu. However, if someone else would have come with different story, maybe Umar would have give different number of years. Okay? So the right opinion in this, if a husband disappears, the right opinion is the whole situation needs to be explained to qadi, to Muslim judge or Muslim a scholar or knowledgeable person. Okay? The whole situation is explained to him, and when he looks at all the factors and all the things and the odds of this person being dead or being alive, whether he went fi mahlaka or less, it's up يعني, to someone trust his knowledge, someone trustworthy, explain the whole situation and see what he determined. That is the right opinion, okay? Because there is no specific strong dalil regarding this issue. Okay? So the 60 and the 90 and the 75 years, that is يعني, has no proofs and no evidence. ثالث, so now we have two situations. One is she doesn't know why her period stops. Second, the husband disappeared. Third, and we said there are 3 scenarios. إذا ارتابت المرأة بعد انقضاء عدتها لظهور أمارات الحمل لم تنكح حتى تزول الريب. A woman gets divorced and she's pregnant, or she's not pregnant. She doesn't know, but she doesn't think she's pregnant. And we said the iddah for a woman who's pregnant is to give birth. Okay, so a woman pregnant and get divorced, she waits until she gives birth before she can marry someone else. Here, this woman got divorced, but she doesn't know. She doesn't believe she has her period normal, so she doesn't think she's pregnant. Once her period is over, okay, and let's say 2 months, she didn't get married yet, she doesn't have a period anymore. Or she started feeling her tummy started getting bigger. So she might be pregnant. Or after divorce, she's living in happiness, so she's putting some weight on. Who knows? But there are many reasons that she starts thinking, I might be pregnant. It's possible. Okay? And remember, this is a scenario that might happen. Not frequent. And if a woman gets 3 periods, most probably she's not pregnant. But if it does happen, okay, it does happen because her period, three periods is her iddah. So if a woman goes through her period and her iddah, 3 periods, and it's over, very rare she will be pregnant. Okay? But if it does happen, here they're saying if she doubts, there are many, she starts seeing signs, her iddah disappears, all that. So here she might be pregnant. Okay? So what we do in this scenario, which is very much connected to the first scenario, when the period disappears. Okay? But here it might be the signs is different. Okay? The signs are different. So he said, لم تنكح حتى تزول الريبة. After her period is done, or after her iddah is over, and now she's doubtful if she's suspecting she might be pregnant, then she cannot marry someone until she confirms that there is no pregnancy. Okay? How does she do that? There are many reasons, of this time, there are many reasons. Okay? Pregnancy test, ultrasound, see a doctor, this and that. So there are many reasons you can find out if you're pregnant or not. So if there is a doubt or suspicion of being pregnant or of pregnancy, then she cannot, after her iddah is over, she cannot get married until she rules it out. She rules the pregnancy out. وإن ارتابت بعد نكاحها لم يبطل نكاحها إلا إذا علمت أنها نكحت وهي حامل. A woman passes her iddah, 3 periods, and right away she gets married. Okay? Then after she gets married, she starts suspecting she might have been pregnant from the previous husband. And it happened so quick. There is no way, she's been with this guy for 2 days. There's no way she's already pregnant from. So she starts feeling there's signs that she might be pregnant. So most probably she will start thinking it might be the previous husband. Alright? So here he said, because a woman during her iddah, she cannot get married. Okay, a woman during her iddah cannot get married. And if she gets married, her marriage is invalid. And if she's pregnant when she was divorced, and she gets married before she gives birth, that's during her iddah. So such marriage is invalid. But here we have suspicion. That's it. We're not confirmed or we're not sure that there is pregnancy. So if she gets married after her iddah is over, and now she starts suspecting she might be pregnant from the first husband, then her marriage is still valid until it's confirmed that she's pregnant from the previous marriage. Alright? So when she's confirmed that she's pregnant from the previous marriage, the marriage becomes null. Clear? Alright. ومتى نكحت المعتدة فنكاحها باطل ويفرق بينهم. If a woman who got divorced or her husband died and she's still in the period of her iddah, in the time of her iddah, 3 months, 3 periods, 4 months and 10 days, depending on the situation, she gets married during this time before her iddah is over, then the marriage is null. Such marriage is invalid and haram and doesn't count. Okay? وَيُفَرَّقْ بَيْنَهُمَا. Of course, if the marriage is invalid, that means they're not husband and wife. That is the new husband. Okay? Even Umar radiallahu anhu went to the point to say, and they can never get married again. Umar went to the point where, and they can never get married again. But Allahu A'lam, the right opinion Yes, they can if after she finishes her iddah. قال وإن فرق بينهما قبل الدخول أتمت عدة الأول. So if she gets married during her iddah from the previous husband, let's say her iddah, let's say she reached menopause, so her iddah 3 months, just to make the example easy. So after 2 months she goes and she gets married to someone. Let's say maybe by mistake, okay? She miscalculated. So after 2 months she gets married and then she, oops, I was still in my iddah. So obviously the marriage is invalid. If this husband, the new husband married her, like they did the contract, but before he consummated the marriage, someone reminded her, listen, your iddah is still on. Oops. So they have to break the contract. If he did not consummate the marriage, the second husband, then she proceed with her iddah. So if she passed 2 months, she got 1 month left. Alright? So once she does another month of iddah, then she can marry this man. طيب, what if he consummated, the next husband consummated the marriage, وإن فرق بينهما قبل الدخول أتمت عدة الأول. If after بنت فرق بينهما of course وبنت على عدة الأول من حين دخل بها الثاني واستأنفت العدة للثاني وله نكاحها بعد انقضاء العدتين. طيب, if she got reminded that she was still in her iddah when she had the marriage contract to the new husband, after they consummated the marriage, after they slept together. So what's this situation here? Right away they're separated because the contract is invalid. Then she continues and she finishes the iddah of the first husband. So in our scenario here, if she 2 months and then she got married and consummated the marriage to the new husband, then realized she's in her iddah, then they're separated, then she continues the 2 months, another month. So she will be done by the iddah of the first. Now the fact she consummated the invalid marriage, shubha the second marriage, then they're separated, then there is iddah for the next husband. So now she has the month from the previous marriage, and now she has 3 months for the new marriage.
The 3 months starts after the finish.
Yes. There is no overlapping. Each one has his own period. His own iddah. So she finishes the month for the first husband, so that's 3 months. Yani she built on the first 2 months. And then once she's done, she does a iddah for the next husband. And all these to tell you that the iddah, the point of the iddah is not only to make sure she's not pregnant. Because very much one period is enough. And we will see what is the real hikmah of a woman waiting before she gets married. Okay? So if she gets married during her iddah and before consummation of the marriage to the next husband, they realize that, then there is no iddah, she just need to, they're separated and the iddah of the first one is finished, then this new husband can marry her. If after consummation they separated, divorced, we just call it divorce but there was no marriage in the first place, and then she finishes the iddah of the first husband, and then she finishes the iddah for the second mistaken husband, and then if he chooses he can marry her. قال وإن أتت بولد من أحدهما انقضت به عدتها واعتدت للآخر. If she gets married, okay, and she gives birth. Now, if she thinks she finished her period, her iddah, and then she gets married, and at least 6 months later she gives birth, that's normal. Can be a new baby, can be born 6 months. So we're going to assume that's for the second husband. But let's say a new baby fully functioned is born after 3 months. Okay? Such born will not survive anyway. But let's assume after 3 months. So most probably this child was from the first marriage. And by his birth, in other words, she got married to the next husband, to the second husband, during her iddah, because the iddah of pregnant women to give birth. So the giving of the birth for this child who's healthy and 3 months old, okay, the birth of this child is the end of the iddah of the first husband. But the fact she married the second husband during her pregnancy, that marriage is invalid. So after she gives birth to this child, they will find out when she gives birth. Then once they find out, they're separated, and then she has to wait his iddah, okay, and then she can marry him. Clear? Clear? Right. A woman gets married, she doesn't think she's pregnant. Her iddah passes, okay? Her iddah passes, and because the time I'm trying to finish this, but her iddah passes, and that's it, she can get married. She thinks her iddah passed because she did not know that she's married, she's pregnant. So after 2 months into the new marriage, suddenly she gives birth. There are some women, they never show actually that they're pregnant. So she gives birth, healthy child, after 2 months of the second marriage. Obviously this child is not this man's, because they just got married 2 months ago. So most probably it's the first guy, okay? So the fact, once this baby is born, that is really the end of the iddah of the first husband. And now, because she got married to the second husband during her iddah, her marriage is invalid. So they have to be separated. And now the fact that she consummated the marriage with this new guy, then she has to wait another iddah to be able to get married to him or to someone else. Clear? So that is this point. وإن أمكن أن يكون منهما وأري القافة فألحق بمن ألحقوه منهم فألحق منهما وانقضت به عدتها منه واعتدت الأخ. There's some opinion amongst the ulama, and that is a lot of the ulama in the past used to believe that 2 men can share in one child. Okay, now scientifically that's disproved. Okay, but they used to believe that if a woman in such scenario by mistake, she marries, and whatever the situation is, the sperms from 2 men can share and with one egg to make one child. So that is the whole scenario about this. But scientifically now it's proved, and easily you can prove whose child it is when he's born from the DNA, from all these things. So what they used to do, just to let you know, is based on that fact that 2 men could share one child. They said once he's born, then we bring al-qafa. Al-qafa is someone expert who will look in the child, look at their feature, look at their feet, and then determine this child belongs to this man. You look at the physical characteristics, and obviously so it's his child. So if that is the case, and there was confusion, and she got married before her iddah is over and all that, then let's say there's Ahmed and the new husband is Muhammad, and the qafa came, looked at the child, and she said this child belongs to Ahmed. So that means by the birth of this child, Ahmed iddah is over, and then now we count for Muhammad's iddah, or vice versa. Okay, even some of the ulama who adopt this opinion of more than 1 man could share, they said even he's called after both. So if the child is named, let's say Abdullah, so Abdullah, the son of Ahmed and the son of Muhammad. When Imam Ahmed said the son of 3 people. Okay, but the point is, scientifically, and Shafi'iyya are the ones who said this is impossible, and obviously they were right in their opinion. Finally, if a woman finds out, they call her husband disappeared, and let's say she takes the opinion it's 4 years, and then they call her after 5 months. They tell her your husband is dead, we found his body. Does she have to wait her period, or her iddah, 3 periods, or the fact 5 months passed, that's enough of her iddah? Huh? Enough?
She didn't know.
She didn't know, so she should wait?
She did wait 4 months.
Okay. Alright. the iddah starts from the time of death. So if those people, or by studying the body or all that, they can determine when he was killed, for example, or when he died, then the iddah starts from the time of death. Okay? Not from the time she finds out. So if 5 months passed, and then they call her from far, and after they found who he belongs to, they couldn't know who's his family, and they told her, listen, we have your husband's body for 5 months. He died in this hospital, and we've been trying to find him. So obviously they know when he died. So such scenario, there is no iddah for her, because she already passed it. There is no hidad, okay? You know hidad, which we will talk about next time, and it's very important. يعني lecture, when a husband dies, or when the woman in al-iddah, when she's a widow, when she becomes a widow, there protocol she needs to follow, okay? And it's very sad to see what's happening to the Muslim women when a husband dies or she gets divorced. Easy, يعني they take it so leniently, like nothing happened, okay? There are specific conditions and protocols and restrictions a woman needs to follow during her period, during her iddah, whether her husband died or she got divorced, and that is during the time, as they call it, al-ihdad, and we'll talk about that next time. But the fact is, she doesn't have to do ihdad, and she doesn't have to do iddah, because 5 months have passed, and that is enough to take care of that. So the counting starts from the time of death, not the time of finding out. So inshallah we stop here and we continue next time. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.